Hey folks, it's Michael Fiore with digitalromance.tv along with Nora.
Hey.
Hey, and today's question is?
Top 3 reasons you should get a prenup.
That's not a question. I'm so confused.
These are not questions. These are not questions from
They're
viewers.
topics.
The things we do in the .tv is that we discuss topics.
Topics.
Because we realized with our podcast that
we get a lot of questions.
We get a lot of questions, but also we end up talking about a lot of the stats and things that come up.
Yeah. So let's talk about prenups because look at this thing right here means I think by the time you watch this I'll be married.
Here's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that if you get a prenup, it means that that the person doesn't really love you if they ask you for a prenup because they're just assuming that you're going to end in divorce. And how can it be romance if you're dealing with lawyers and all that stuff before you get married?
So I actually just went through the entire prenup negotiation process with my beautiful, wonderful fiance, who is now my wife by the time you see this, because we're getting married in like 2 or 3 weeks, and you'll see this later. I agree with you that the prenup itself is not romantic. And here's the weird thing about that. Marriage is not romantic. Getting married, being in a long-term relationship, making a hopefully lifetime commitment is incredibly romantic. But marriage, the legal aspect of it, is essentially, and this is really unromantic, a business contract. It's a business agreement. It's an agreement that the two of you are going to come together personally and financially, maybe raise kids, maybe buy property, maybe do all these other kinds of things. And going into that without a prenup, honestly, isn't really good for anyone. Now, we all have this idea that when you get married, it's forever. And I just got married, according to this.
And I just got divorced.
And she just got divorced. We're like a singing, dancing group. Honestly, the idea that you're going to be with that one person for 50 or 60 years is a great thing to strive towards, but it's kind of idiotic to assume it's going to happen.
Right.
It's like jumping out of an airplane. You wouldn't jump out of an airplane without a parachute, no matter how strong your legs are or how good you are at sticking the landing.
Right. I have to admit that when I was 25, all
Yeah.
of those things I said at the beginning held true.
Yeah.
On the other end of it, having to deal with lawyers and divorce and all
Yep.
of that stuff, I would never go into it again without one. No. I think it's just easier if you spell things out at the beginning. I'm actually a fan of this new marriage lease idea.
Marriage lease?
Yeah, so instead of
Getting
a
married
normal
forever?
marital contract, you sign a contract with a lawyer that spells out all of the things that would happen at the end of the term,
Yep.
the way things would be settled, and you sign up for anywhere from a 1 to 5, 10-year commitment. And at the end of that time, you can either renew it,
Or it automatically expires?
or it automatically expires.
I kind of like the time limit relationship thing. I had one of those myself years ago with a lovely lady. She actually just had a baby, beautiful baby. Not with me, there you go. But we had she was moving to go to school somewhere else, and 9 months after we met, and we just decided to have a 9-month relationship, and it was lovely. But back to the prenup thing. Yes, it's unromantic. Yes, it's actually brutal. Yes, talking to my own lawyer recently, she told me that sometimes the prenup negotiation keeps people from getting married. And in my opinion, if the prenup negotiation keeps you from getting married,
You probably shouldn't have married that person
you
in the first
shouldn't be
place.
getting married in the first place.
Yep.
A prenup shows, I also told my fiance, that with our business and such, I make more money than she does. And if it was the other way around and I was dirt broke or something like that and she had a business and some other things, I would also make her sign a prenup. Signing a prenup shows the other person that you're not just in it for the money, right? It shows them that you have enough self-respect. It also means you're going to save a lot of money and a lot of heartache later if you do get divorced. And just because a relationship ends doesn't mean it's a failure. Right? Sometimes you can go through a relationship that's, I have friends who were married for 20 years, raised a couple of fantastic kids, had a really great time together, and at the end of 20 years, they were like, you know what, we're just not in love anymore. And they could have either forced themselves to keep going and keep trudging through it, or they could do what they did, which was actually end it with a certain level of grace.
And wouldn't you be happy at the end of that you had everything covered financially and you knew exactly the terms of how things were going to be and there was no muddy anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we covered more than 3 in this anyway. But the biggest reasons I can see to have a prenup is so that you are negotiating the end of something when you still like each other, so you don't have to become bitter and angry and fight with each other, especially if you have children involved later.
It's a lot less emotional tinged at the beginning than
Yeah. So it is unromantic. Do it anyway. Okay? And that's the end of this particular video. If you want to see more videos like this or hear about our podcast or all the blog posts we have or the products we sell and things like that, you can go to digitalromance.tv. I've been Michael Fiore. She's been Nora.
I always am.
I just got married and she just got divorced. Amazing. It's
hey!
Great. Not to each other. That'd be weird. We'll see you in the next video.